A uniformed soldier, bag in hand, returns alone to the U.S. airport. But just minutes later, he's tackled and handcuffed by police. Charges? None. Reason? They suspected him for wearing a military uniform too convincingly. No one asked who he was. They only saw his skin color and assumed he's probably faking it. Right in the middle of the airport, this soldier was humiliated on camera. But when the truth came out, all of America went silent. This isn't just a story, it's one of the veteran stories few dare to tell. And at Justice for Veterans, we tell them so that no soldier has to suffer injustice in silence. His name is Marcus Dean, Staff Sergeant, United States Marine Corps. Just 14 months ago, he was in an active combat zone. Dust, gunfire, fallen comrades. Now, he stands in a domestic airport, his uniform slightly worn, bag weathered, boots still stained with red sand from Kuwait. No flowers, no welcome. Just a quiet soldier returning home. His eyes are hollow from sleepless nights, but there's a deep pride in his gaze. He's not looking for attention. He just wants to go home. See his mother, sleep without the sound of bombs. But the moment he passes through the security gate, a pair of eyes lock onto him, and that's when everything begins to spiral. Marcus places his bag on the conveyor belt. A TSA officer glances at him, whispers something to a coworker. A few feet away, two police officers, Travis Monroe and Derek Slater, begin walking toward him. No smiles, no greetings, just skeptical stares, as if spotting an imposter. Monroe quietly speaks into his radio. Looks like a guy borrowing a uniform to get a priority ticket. Marcus hears it. He turns, calmly opens his wallet, begins pulling out his military ID. But before he can hand it over, hand grabs his wrist. Open the bag. Now, Slater orders. Marcus freezes. Can I ask why? Open the bag. At that moment, the airport crowd begins to take notice. Marcus stands still, hands hovering over his bag. But Travis Monroe doesn't wait. He yanks open the zipper, spilling the contents as if exposing a thief. Military papers, unit insignia, a crumpled photo him and his team, smiling in a dusty camp. All strewn across the cold airport floor, amidst rushing footsteps. Slater picks up Marcus's military ID and scoffs. Pretty good fake. Marcus says nothing, but his eyes, no longer angry, are filled with pain. A soldier who stood on battlefields, now insulted on his own soil. And just as Slater turns to cuff him, a voice rings out from behind. That's enough. From the waiting area, an elderly man rises, wearing a worn cap embroidered with U.S. Veteran. His voice is raspy but firm. Stop. That young man is a real soldier. Travis spins around. Sir, please don't interfere. But the old man stands his ground. I was in Korea. 1952. I know a real soldier when I see one. The crowd stirs. Phones raised. Cameras recording. A young woman. Why don't they just check his ID? Why humiliate him like this? Slater shouts. This is standard procedure, but everyone can see this isn't procedure. This is degradation. And at that moment, someone starts live streaming. It would change everything. A young woman holds up her phone, live streaming. They're handcuffing a black soldier in the middle of an airport. Within minutes, the video floods Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. Comments explode. Who is he? He's legit. What are the cops doing? Justice for Marcus trends nationwide. Reporters start calling the airport. A panicked security staffer radios the control room. We're live, nationally. On the surveillance screen, the manager hits the emergency button. Call leadership. This is a major incident. One name is mentioned. Someone's coming, and he doesn't need an invitation. Heavy footsteps echo through the terminal. Heads turn, a senior officer approaches, dark-skinned, his face carved in stone. Captain Elijah Brooks, Internal Affairs, he says, flashing a badge at the two officers. Monroe starts to speak, but Brooks cuts him off. Remove the cuffs, now. Slater stammers. He claimed to be military but didn't show. Brooks growls. I signed Sergeant Marcus Dean's deployment orders. He's real. He's exemplary. And you have just insulted the entire U.S. Armed Forces. No one objects. The cuffs come off. Marcus stays silent, his eyes now wet, not from fear, but from a deep, familiar pain. Brooks points to the security office. All of you inside. Now. The security office door slams shut. No more crowd, no more live stream, just thick air and rapid breaths. Marcus sits still, hands resting on his knees. Elijah Brooks leans against the table, arms crossed. Across from them, Travis and Slater shift uneasily, trying to appear calm. The door opens. An older man enters senior police uniform, gold 2-star badge. His voice is slow but commanding. I'm Chief Raymond Cole. I want to see all footage unedited. The screen lights up. Every frame plays. From Marcus's arrival, to the search, to the cuffs. No cuts, no filters, no excuses. Chief Cole says nothing. He turns to the officers and asks, "Why did you refuse to verify his military ID when offered?" No one answers. But the collapse has already begun. Chief Cole stares down Travis Monroe and Derek Slater. He doesn't yell. He simply opens a laptop, types quietly, and stares at the screen. A list appears their names, and in bold red text beside each. Racial discrimination complaint, 2021. Excessive use of force, 2022. Refusal to verify ID during security stop, 2023. Elijah looks at Cole. They didn't just mess up today, they just finally got caught clearly. Cole nods. He picks up the phone and dials. Immediate suspension, without pay. Prepare disciplinary files. Slater opens his mouth, but Cole cuts him off. The more you talk, the worse it gets. Marcus remains seated, but something in his eyes is starting to shift. Chief Cole turns to Marcus, speaking gently. We apologize for what you've been through. This isn't how a soldier should be treated. Marcus is silent for a few seconds. He looks down at the scuffed, dusty badge in his palm, then looks up. I don't need an apology. His voice is low, steady. I need change. The room falls silent. Elijah Brooks watches him, deeply moved. Today, it was me. But how many others have been cuffed in an airport just because of their skin? If you truly want to fix this, don't let me be the last one to go through it. Outside, the crowd is still waiting. People are hoping Marcus will emerge, but he won't. Not yet. Not until he says one final thing. The door to the security office opens. Marcus Dean steps out slowly. No handcuffs. No bowed head. Just the posture of a soldier solid as stone. The airport terminal falls silent, then erupts in applause. An elderly woman places a hand on her heart, whispering, "Thank you for fighting for us." A group of veterans raises small American flags pinned to their ball caps. The live streaming girl, voice cracking, "He's a real soldier, a real hero." Within hours, the video racks up millions of views. Major news outlets run headlines. One question dominates. Why was a soldier suspected just because of his skin? But Marcus still hasn't said his final words. And when he does, America will have to listen. Reporters press forward, microphones surrounding Marcus. But he's not angry, not theatrical. He's calm like a man who's seen war. He stands in the center, looking straight into the camera, his voice deep, each word deliberate. I don't demand respect because I'm a soldier. I demand respect because I'm a human being. My skin color is not a past nor a threat, but today, it nearly made me a suspect in the country I swore to protect. Patriotism doesn't come in colors, but prejudice clearly does. Silence sweeps the crowd. No one dares interrupt. And when Marcus lowers the mic, the world begins to share the clip, captioned simply, "This is what an American looks like." Hours after the press conference, the city police department releases an official statement. Officers Travis Monroe and Derek Slater suspended indefinitely. Files referred to the Ethics and Internal Review Board. The National Veterans Organization issues a declaration. Anyone who dishonors a veteran dishonors this nation. Public outrage swells. Marches begin. People wearing military caps hold signs. Respect isn't a privilege, it's a right. A bill resurfaces in Congress proposing mandatory racial bias training for all law enforcement. Thousands sign petitions demanding reforms in airport security procedures for veterans. But Marcus Dean still asks, if this hadn't been recorded, where would I be today? Marcus walks into the internal disciplinary hearing. Travis Monroe and Derek Slater are already seated, no longer smug, just silent. No one asks Marcus to speak, but he steps forward anyway. No yelling, no insults, just a steady look and a slow sentence. The next time you see a black man in uniform, lower your head, not because he's a soldier, but because he might have saved someone's life, someone like you. No one responds. Slater bows his head. Monroe looks away, eyes red. Marcus turns and walks out, not expecting remorse, just hoping they remember and never repeat it. Because in a civilized nation, dignity cannot come second to prejudice. Marcus Dean walks out of the airport not as a victim, but as a symbol. He doesn't need viral fame. He needs justice for those who never had someone record their truth. He doesn't need apologies. He needs a country that knows how to treat its heroes before it's too late. Across America, hundreds of thousands of veterans live in silence. No comrades, no recognition, no justice. The video ends with this line on screen. Marcus was just one soldier, but he made the system face itself. Justice for Veterans logo appears. A voice echoes our channel's creed. When the world forgets its veterans, we remind them, if you believe no one who once carried a rifle should have to live unseen, share this story.